How do you get scroll saw pieces that fit together perfectly? Well, there's some seasoned woodworkers out there that are yelling at their screen right now saying you stack cut them, and they're absolutely correct. Except for the small little part where they're wrong. Let's demystify the process and talk about some other tips that'll help you to make all those pieces fit together. First thing, what's stack cutting? Well, that's when you take two boards, you cut them at the same time, and then whenever you put them together, theoretically, they should fit perfect. Theoretically. Here's how you do it. I put painter's tape on both work pieces and then stick them together with glue. Now, some people will just tape them together. I don't use that method because I feel like they could slide around once you start cutting the tape away. I'll put CA glue, or super glue, on the painter's tape on one of the pieces. Now, it's important for me to spread that glue around. You could put a few drops of glue and that'll hold the pieces just fine, but that's not the reason why I do this. If I'm just using a drop of super glue and then I cut that glue away, well then my other pieces are gonna separate. Instead, I'll just put glue everywhere, that way I don't have to risk it. I'll spray the other work piece with accelerator. That way, whenever I put these two pieces together, that glue is gonna dry instantly, and then we're ready to cut. When stack cutting, I recommend using the smallest blade possible. Now, how small really depends on the thickness of your work pieces and the wood species. I'd rather be aggressive and just go really, really small, and if it doesn't work out, I'll change blades and then try it again. It's important to remember that as the blade cuts, you're not just cutting one board into two boards. It's actually turning one board into two boards plus sawdust. The width of the blade chews away material. The more it chews, the higher the likelihood that you're gonna have some gaps in between your pieces. That means not a perfect fit. When you're making your cuts, move in a quick, fluid motion. After you start cutting, finish it. Don't stop mid-cut. When you restart your cut, that workpiece can move a little bit. You may not notice it, but whenever you put your pieces together, you'll see that there's a little bit of a gap. Also, don't hold the board still while the blade's running. Again, it may not seem like anything's happening, you're not cutting any material away, but you actually are, because the sides of the blade, the teeth, are rubbing against the workpiece. That's friction, that's sawdust. That's causing a gap. You can see it on my test board. There's one area that I purposely stopped and then restarted again. There's another area that I let it run for a second in the same place and then resume cutting. You see there's gaps both areas. I didn't try to have gaps, I did everything I could to avoid it, but that's what happens. Another thing to consider is your pattern. The more curves you have, the steeper those curves, the more likely you're gonna have gaps. The blade's gonna eat away material as it turns. You can reduce the chances of having gaps by turning your workpieces quickly around those curves. But if the curve's extreme enough, then it doesn't really matter how fast you move, you're gonna end up removing too much material. If you have sharp or tight areas that have to fit together, then stack cutting may not be the best answer for you, and there's some other methods you could try. After you're done cutting, separate the boards and then put the edges together. If all went well, they should fit perfectly. That's it, right? Happily ever after. There's an added complication. Again, the saw blade turns some of the material into sawdust, so now our pieces are gonna be slightly undersized. You can see it with this example. I put my pieces on top of the template. Everything's aligned perfectly on all the sides, but you can see there's a small gap about the same thickness as my saw blade over here on this one side. Now this may be unimportant. In a vacuum, it probably is. But think of it this way. What if you have to have a piece next to that piece, and another piece next to that one, and then that one? Next thing you know, that line goes from that width, and then doubles, triples, quadruples. You get your whole artwork together, and you got a sizable gap. Everything's undersized. If we need our pieces to stay the same size, we need to scale them up. You can move your template lines further out. The distance is equal to the thickness of the saw blade. For example, if your blade is 0.02 inches thick, well then you can move one line out by 0.02 inches. Or you can move both sides of your template out by 0.01 inches, and they would equal 0.02 when you add them up. You only have to do this on the edge that's opposite of the cut line. Let's say you're cutting a board from top to bottom. You only have to make up the difference by extending the line on the far side. Alternatively, if your pattern has a sharp curve in it, you're cutting top to bottom and all of a sudden you're cutting left to right, well, you may have to expand your lines on a couple sides of your template. Now this may seem confusing or that I'm overthinking it. I'm not. And you wouldn't feel that way either if you received as many messages as I do from people that are having problems getting their pieces to fit together properly and they're looking for some guidance. And also, it's not a lot of work to solve, honestly. I make my own template, so it's easy for me to simply expand a line outward and call it a day. But if you don't want to modify your template or you don't know how to modify your template, well, you can simply just change the way you cut. Or you can combine your techniques. On one side of your piece, maybe you cut on the line. On another side of your piece, you cut on the outside of the line. You're just trying to make a difference of the thickness of the material that you removed whenever you cut your pieces in half. How you solve the problem isn't as important as knowing the problem exists and why. If you don't know the problem exists, then whenever you do discover it, you're gonna be caught off guard and you're not gonna know why it occurred. Now that you do know, you could try different methods to tackle it. Hopefully this video and some of these tips will help you out in your next project. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon for supporting us, supporting this channel. You guys rock. Until we meet again, get in your shop and build something awesome.